Hello everyone, I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and I just wanted to wish everyone a very happy Christmas on this Christmas Eve. I thought I'd invite you into the kitchen again and share with me one of our favorite Christmas recipes that we like to make for the season, and that is Scotch eggs. So please join me in the kitchen. Hey everyone, so welcome to the kitchen. And so like I said, today we are going to make Scotch eggs. So that is a family tradition recipe that my mother always made for Christmas and Christmas Eve. So if you don't know what a Scotch egg is, it's basically a hard-boiled egg with an outer covering of ground meat, and then it's deep fried. So it's like a big giant protein ball, basically. So if you want to join me, and I will show you how we make our Scotch eggs. So I've got the hard-boiled eggs are already ready to go. I cooked them up last night and they're peeled. And traditionally in the past we've used sausage meat, but in recent years we've used just plain unseasoned ground meat. That way we can season it ourselves and season it to our own tastes. And then last year we actually used half ground pork and half ground beef, and we actually discovered this makes a much better tasting Scotch egg. So that's what I've got here is about 4 pounds of ground meat. So again, it's a 50-50 mix of ground beef and ground pork. I've also added some seasonings. I've added some seasoning salt, some powdered garlic, and a little bit of our own pepper blend. So this is pepper blend number 2, and this is what we did with our leftover peppers from the garden. As we threw them all in, all the peppers, the sweet bell peppers, the hot peppers, everything got thrown into a dehydrator and then ground up into a powder, and so we have our hot pepper mix, and it does have quite the kick. So I'm just gonna, the best way to do this is to get in with your hands and mix it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just mixing it all in. Get all that seasoning well mixed and distributed, because you don't want to have a pocket of hot pepper spice in one bite and none in the next. You want it to be all evenly distributed. So yeah, this is what we would do for Christmas. And in our family, Christmas Eve, we never had a big meal for Christmas Eve. It was always like finger food and appetizers and fancy cheeses and stuff like that. And so of course the Scotch eggs were part of that. So there we go. So the meat is all mixed up good. Now you could add an egg to this if you really wanted to, but you don't necessarily need to. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pinch off a bit and form it and open up in my hand like that. I'm going to take an egg. Again, these are hard-boiled eggs, and just form the meat around the egg, just like that. Just like so. If you need to grab a bit more to make it work, to make it all covered, so you want it to be completely encased in the meat. Just like that. Get it all nice. Voila, a meat encased egg. Do another one like that. There we go. I have seen sort of more gourmet versions of this, where they use like blood pudding and stuff like that. I suppose you could use whatever blend of ground meat you wanted to, whatever you had on hand. It doesn't really matter. But the basics of a Scotch egg is that it's ground meat and a hard-boiled egg. Oh, it's not. Oh, there we go. That one doesn't want to come together as easily as the other one did. Just kind of squish it together. Like so. I've got another egg. So then the next step is once you have all of your eggs encased in the meat, you roll them in egg wash and then breadcrumb, and then they get deep fried. And we'll show you the next step right away here. And ta-da! We have our eggs all covered in the ground meat. So we did end up adding an egg to our ground meat just to make it easier to shape around the eggs. So the next step is to roll them in the egg and then in some breadcrumbs. Now I did season the breadcrumbs with a bit of seasoning salt because you don't want to have plain tasting breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to take the first egg. Now again, sometimes the best thing to do is just get in there with your hands. You can always wash your hands later, right? But sometimes it's just easier. So it's egg and then breadcrumb, and I'm just going to cover it all up with the breadcrumb in there, just like that. And it's done. I'll do another one. And into the breadcrumb. And like that. And we'll do one more. And then the next step after, once we get these all breaded, is they go into the deep fryer. And they go in, I have a small fryer. It's set at 170 Celsius, which is what, 300 Fahrenheit, something like that. Sorry for my poor conversion. Probably for about 5 to 6 minutes. And then once they've all been through the fryer, what I usually do is I will finish them in the oven. I will put them in a regular conventional oven at about 300 degrees for about half an hour, just to make sure that that meat is cooked. Welcome back to the next step. So we've got our Scotch eggs all breaded and ready to go. So I am just going to put 2 in the fryer here. Very carefully. Don't burn yourselves. Always use extra caution whenever you're in the kitchen and you're using things like hot oil. There we go. So I put 2 in there. And they're frying away. So we'll leave them in there for about 5 to 6 minutes until they're nicely golden brown, and then we'll take them out. Alright, so our 6-minute time is up, and I'm going to pull these eggs out of the fryer. And they look nice and toasty brown, all sizzling. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Alright, so I'm going to put two more in. One. 2, and away we go for another 6 minutes. So once we've got these all finished, like I said, we'll put them in the oven for about half an hour at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, just to make sure that the meat is fully cooked through. Now traditionally in our family we serve them cold. We cut them in half or in quarters and just eat them on the buffet table, cold. But there's no reason why you couldn't eat them warm if you wanted to. So this is one of my family's traditional dishes for Christmas. So thank you for joining me in the kitchen on this wonderful Christmas Eve, and I hope you have a happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year if I don't talk to you before then. So all the best, happy holidays, happy solstice, and Merry Christmas. Until next time, take care. And here we have it, Scotch egg. Just came out of the oven a few minutes ago, so they're still warm. Look at that. Yumsies on Christmas Eve.